welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari returns to the country after a 49-day vacation in the UK. Thanks Nigerians for their prayers, support and solidarity. Reactions trail President's return. APC says he's back with renewed vigour. PDP demands that he reveals his health status to Nigerians. National Emergency Management Agency deploys more equipment to Kaduna International Airport for emergency services. And South Korean court opposed the impeachment of the country's president over her role in the corruption scandal involving a close friend.
And in business news tonight, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves hit $30 billion mark, its second biggest rise since July 2015.
And on sports news tonight, International Olympic Committee blocks financial support to Kenyan Olympic Committee for failing to comply with corporate governance regulations.
And from Abuja, family members of 6 murdered Igbo traders protest Abuja court judgment sentencing 2 police officers to death for the killings.
We begin tonight with the end of the long wait for the return of President Muhammadu Buhari after a 49-day vacation in the United Kingdom. The president, who says he feels fine now, thanked Nigerians for their prayers, support and show of solidarity for his government. He was speaking at a reception organised for him in the First Lady's Conference Hall at the Presidential Villa. Meanwhile, President Buhari is expected to transmit a letter to the National Assembly on Monday, indicating his return and resumption of work. Our State House correspondent Chukwuma Onyekwuse reports.
The helipad in the presidential villa was under surveillance as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. Security personnel cordoned off the whole area, awaiting the arrival of the president. Also present were the vice president, who led other government officials and security chiefs. The presidential chopper touches ground at about 8:40 in the morning. The president alights and heads straight to be received by the vice president and the retinue of government officials who are waited all morning to receive him. His convoy heads straight to the residence and into the First Lady's conference room for a short reception that featured welcome speeches from the representatives of the state governors, the service chiefs, the ministers, and the vice president himself.
As usual, we'll continue to remain steadfast to praying for you and for the nation.
Will provide the necessary security and safety environment for the government and the people of the country.
Your arrival today has vindicated our position, our faith, and I believe that you will return safely.
I must say that I want to thank you very much for the trust that you reposed in me by handing over the reins of government to me and my capacity, in the capacity of acting president. But I think more importantly, sir, you demonstrated a belief in our constitution, which is possibly more important than anything else. Rules, the constitution, which we all swore to support and obey, is one that prescribed the course of conduct that you took, but we know that that's not always the case. So I want to say that not only am I, but I'm sure this entire nation is grateful to you because you have upheld our constitution in a noble and graceful fashion.
The president says he is recuperating very well.
I am feeling much better now. There may, however, be need to have further follow-ups within some weeks. Rather than sending open delegation to Abuja to welcome me, may I appeal to all Nigerians to continue to pray for our country's unity, progress, and prosperity.
He believes in the efficacy of prayers.
I am deeply grateful to all Nigerians Muslims and the Christians alike who have prayed and are continuing to pray for my good health. This is a testimony that in spite of the hardship being experienced, Nigerians support the government in its effort to tackle our country's challenges.
Even as he calls on Nigerians to trust the ability of his vice president.
Youth and intellect is squarely behind him. Age and purely military experience is behind him. I deliberately come back towards the weekend so that the Vice President will continue and I will continue to rest. Thank you.
President Buhari was away to the United Kingdom for about 50 days. While there, speculations about his health conditions took different dimensions. Many Nigerians, especially those who have been praying for him, will be watching to see how his return and subsequent resumption of work will put paid to such speculations. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
Now let's just take a look at what transpired when the president returned. He arrived exactly at 7:41 a.m. at the Air Force Base Kaduna, where he was received by the Kaduna State Deputy Governor Bala Bantex, the GOC 1 Division, Commissioner of Police and other dignitaries. On alighting from the presidential jet, President Muhammadu Buhari immediately left for Abuja via a chopper.
It's about 5:30 a.m. and the GOC 1 Division of the Nigerian Army, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Mr. Bala Bantex, the head of the DSS and the police operatives are all here waiting for the arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari. At exactly 7:40 a.m., the presidential plane touches the ground. Everyone waiting anxiously, and soon the president alights from the plane, beaming with smiles. He then exchanges pleasantries, beginning with the deputy governor. And then straight he goes into a waiting chopper, taking him to the presidential villa in Abuja. The president has been away for 49 days, and his absence has generated lots of debate and anxiety. His return, though, now puts to rest all the discourse on when the president will return to the country.
And as can be expected, reactions have been trailing the return of the president after 49 days outside the country. The president's party, the All Progressives Congress, believes that President Buhari is now well rested and has returned with vigour and optimism to fix the challenges facing the country, as well as fulfil the promises the party made to Nigerians during the 2015 elections. The party thanked the president for following due process and properly handing over to the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and thereby saving the country the controversy and crisis that was experienced in the past. The party also commended Professor Osinbajo for competently holding the fort on behalf of Mr. President and for his loyalty and commitment to the party's change agenda. Meanwhile, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has described the president's return as a welcome development. He, however, implored Nigerians to continue to pray for the president so that he can continue to steer the affairs of the country.
It's important is that God should give him life to do his duty. I just learned that he said he'll be going back in 3 weeks. We have to keep our fingers crossed. Nobody will wish President Buhari dead. What is important is that for him to stay away for that long, anybody will be concerned. Now he's back. So what we're saying is that may God give him strength to do his job. He has a job to do. Whatever name you call it, he has a job to do. So let us keep praying for him. We want him to get well and fix the economy. We want him to get well and put food on our table. We want him to get well. It's like trying a man that is sick or a dead man. You can't try them in court. A man that is sick cannot do the job we want him to do. So we have to pray that God should make him strong to come and do this job so that we can have the dollar back to 200 or less.
Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, away from the President's return, efforts at ensuring smooth operations as a result of the diversion of flights to the Kaduna International Airport have continued as the National Emergency Management Agency has deployed more equipment for emergency services. NEMA says a rescue helicopter, 3 mobile intensive care unit ambulances and 3 rapid intervention vehicles have been sent to Kaduna State to join other agencies in providing support for emergency operations in the state. While the helicopter is to be used for medical patrol, the 3 ambulances and the rapid intervention vehicles are stationed along Jere and Katari towns, Kaduna Abuja Road and Kaduna International Airport. The equipment is to be deployed for search and rescue operations, first aid treatment and the stabilization of trauma victims. Now, teachers and students have hailed the post-insurgency plans of the Yobe state government concerning renovation of schools. The state government says it plans to revive the education sector by creating a good learning environment. Yobe state is one of the northeastern states that bore the brunt of the Boko Haram insurgency.
Now that peace has finally returned to Yobe State, the government of Governor Ibrahim Gaidam has begun implementing the post-insurgency program in the education sector. The first school to benefit from this program is the government secondary school in Fika local government area, where the governor and some cabinet members took time out to inspect the newly renovated block of classrooms, school auditorium, hostel facility, library, laboratories, staff quarters and administrative block, among others. After the inspection of the school facilities, the governor also spent some time with the students on the assembly ground, where he encouraged them to reciprocate the gesture by working hard and shun drug abuse plus other social vices capable of destroying their future.
You didn't have good classrooms, no dormitories. You used to read under the trees. You slept under very difficult conditions. And based on the information provided by the Minister of Education, we said we are going to renovate these schools. Not only renovating them, I can assure you we are going to punish them accordingly.
For the Commissioner of Education, more schools will benefit from the ongoing renovation program.
We have been going around to see to the completion of the projects in this school. Thank God it has been completed today and it is only remaining commissioning.
The school principal is satisfied over the infrastructural project.
Really, we are looking for the renovation for a long time. We really suffer, but God in His mercy brought the time and the school was renovated.
At the end of the inspection, the governor calls on the federal government and other NGOs to assist the state in rebuilding the state education sector.
About 661 pump-action rifles seized by the Nigeria Customs Service in Lagos have been handed over to the Department of State Security for proper investigation. The spokesperson of the Customs Federal Operations Unit Zone A, Jeriata, explained that 2 of the 3 suspects arrested in connection with the consignment have also been handed over to the Lagos State Director of DSS, Betty Adoki. The men of the Federal Operations Unit Zone intercepted a 1-by-40-foot container laden with rifles on the Mile 2 Apapa Expressway on January the 22nd, 2017. And in part 2, after the break, new dates for the 2019 election announced by INEC in focus, and we'll be joined by the former INEC National Commissioner, Professor Lai Olurode, to join us again.